beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, in today's reading, we're going to be revealing some startling, shocking, new information about your life. And it is all going to have to do with whether you are on the right path. And as you guys know by now, I do not like to beat around the bush. So we're going to get straight into the readings after I have introduced you to today's groups. So today I have 4 groups prepared for you, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 stones intuitively in order to help you figure out whether you are on the right path. We have the Howlite, we have the Emerald, we have the Pyrite, as well as the Amber, but the timestamps are down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section for quick and easy access. And if you're new to my channel and you want to continue benefiting from free readings as well as very frequent uploads, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well as turn on the notifications bell in order to stay connected and to receive every single reading that I post in your subscription feed. But yeah, you guys, I don't want to brabble too much with the intro. I would rather spend more time within the individual readings. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Howlite. And to all the other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to be starting off by letting you know exactly why you may have chosen this stone. So the reason why you may have felt drawn to the Howlite may be because you need a little bit more calming energy around you. The Howlite is a very calming stone, and it is also a stone that helps you just focus a lot more on learning. It is a stone that strengthens your memory as well as encourages you wanting to take in more content, more value that can really help you forward on your life's path. So in the Howlite, one thing that I already see is that the path where you can learn, where you can mentally strengthen yourself, that is a path that you're most likely on, or maybe you need just a little bit more encouragement with in order to reach your full potential. But you're on the right path, group number 1, because the Howlite is also a stone that teaches you patience. But let's get straight into your reading. So first and foremost, we have the Angelite. So group number 1, in the Angelite, one thing that I see here is that what you need on your path, what is currently missing is just a little bit more of a feeling of community, okay? Group number 1, if you join in with more like-minded people, as well as just join a community of others who are doing the same thing that you're doing, who are drawn towards the same thing that you're drawn towards, I see that that is highly beneficial to you as well as your life's path. So for example, if you're really into tarot readings, join a tarot reading community. Join a tarot reading class in order to learn how to tarot read. I have mine launching with the link down below in case you're interested. And you know, the same goes for sports, the same goes for environmental causes. There's so many groups and communities where you can link up with people who have the same values that you have, who can help you further your success as well as your career on your life's path. Because I truly believe that your life's path is not just what you're meant to do, it is also something that you're passionate about. So it's not just money, it's passion, but it's also not just passion, it is how you can sustain yourself. So your life's path has a lot to do with you finding that healthy middle ground, that healthy equilibrium where you're able to do something you love and at the same time sustain life. Then furthermore, we have the Amethyst, we have the Larimar, as well as gold. So group number 1, I want you to know here that we have a very colorful kind of group. So I can't really say that you're drawn specifically to one type of energy, to one type of zodiac energy. But one thing that I do see here is the fact that you're being sent a lot of like lucky coincidences, which will teach you whether you are on the right path or not. I want you to pay more attention to synchronicities. You know, do you keep seeing the same numbers over and over again? Those can be little signs that are drifting you towards a certain direction in life that you should be on. But I want you to also make sure that you're not too sensitive on this path, because one thing that I see here in the Larimar is that you are on a path where things may take time, where things may bring you to a point where you feel very emotional, where you feel very sensitive, and where you feel almost like the world is against you sometime, group number 1. And I know that it can be, how should I say, it can be easier to give up. It can be easier to wallow for a little bit. It can be easier to just tell yourself that things are too difficult to push through with. But you have to reveal your true self. Group number one in the amethyst, one thing that I see is that you're not meant to be the kind of person who backs down. You're not meant to be the kind of person who just quits halfway, okay? You're not a quitter. It is not in your nature. And furthermore, we have strength, okay? So this is no coincidence, group number one. I know some people will say, oh, it's just a coincidence that that card popped out, but is it really though? So group number one, in strength, I just want you to know that your angels, your guides definitely want you to just take motivation out of that place inside of you where your strength grows out of, okay? So you have a lot of potential, but one thing that I see that you can tap into a lot more is your strength and just figuring out how strong you really are. I feel like you haven't really reached that point where you know what you're capable of, group number one, and I feel like that is something that is prohibiting you from moving down your life's path a lot quicker than you most likely could. Furthermore, we have breathe. Okay, so group number one, I see that your life's path has a lot to do with relaxation. So you may be like partying right now. You may think to yourself, that is amazing. I've always wanted a life's path where I can sleep a lot, where I can chill a lot. But group number one, that is not exactly what I mean. And I don't want you to get all disappointed. I just want you to know that in breathe, a lot of your life's path has to do most likely with your body, okay? So your life's path may have to do with teaching other people how to find their most healthy self. So that could be a personal trainer, that could be a doctor, that could be a naturopathic doctor. Is that how you say it? You guys know what I mean, a holistic kind of doctor. You may just work with crystals and be the kind of person who loves yoga, okay? Your life's path has a lot to do with not only learning about the body, but also making sure that you properly inhale and exhale, because sometimes you can have so much anxiety and your breath can be so shallow and short that it just feeds into the anxiety and you think to yourself that you're dying, but you're really not. You're just not even properly breathing. And that is what causes even more anxiety and even more fear, because literally you feel like you're not even getting any air. So group number one, that is actually something you can implement right now, like breathe. When was the last time you really felt your breath go fully like into your body and then just exhale? You know what I mean, group number one? Just do it right now while you're watching this video. Be mindful of your breathing as well as your breathing pattern. Then we have the scarab beetle spirit, the mouse spirit, the deer spirit, as well as the white raven spirit. So group number one thing that I see here that has to do with your path and will let you know whether you're on the right path or not is the fact whether you feel like there is magic around you. You are meant to do something in your life's path where you feel like you're constantly being created, where you feel like new things are constantly being like birthed around you, new ideas are coming to life, and where you're able to focus on those details that are so important to you. That is one thing that I see in the mouse spirit, okay? I see that details, that is something where you want to make sure that you're diligent and get things right when it comes to every creative venture that you're doing, group number one. And furthermore, I want you to know that magic works through you, but it can sometimes be blocked if you're not on your life's path and if you're not on the right path. And furthermore, if you are not breathing properly. I mean, nobody can function without oxygen, no human being, okay? So I want you to be gentle on yourself. That is one thing that I see here in the deer spirit. You have to make sure that you're not so hard on yourself, group number one. It's so much easier to be hard on yourself and to knock yourself down than to actually face those fears of being successful. Yes, I said it, group number one, okay? Many of us are fearful of what if I become as successful as I want to become? What if I reach my dreams? What if I actually make this much money? You know, it can be scary to actually reach your dreams, and you can sometimes put little roadblocks in the way just to keep you at like a distance where you can see your dreams and you feel like you can almost feel them, but not quite. And you're not going to ever allow yourself to get there unless you realize this and you're just gentle with yourself, caring with yourself, and tell yourself, okay, I may have made mistakes in the past, but I do not have to let this trend continue. If I want things to change around me, I need things to change inside of me. So I'm just going to be gentle with myself, show myself that I don't need to be anxious. I can breathe. I can feel comfortable in my own body and just allow the magic to work through me, my body, my life, and just the entire plane that I am vibrating on. So group number one, I want you to know that you're on a very good path, okay? Your path is most likely the right path. One thing that I do want you to look out for though is those self-inflicted roadblocks, as well as just making sure that you're not running down the path and not even kind of checking in on yourself and your health, because then you're going to eventually break down on the path, even though you're on the right path. So I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it gave you motivation as well as some insight and clarity. Let me know down below what really hit home with you and resonated with your situation, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Emerald group number two, which is an amazing stone. It is one that promotes unconditional love as well as helps friendships thrive and flourish, and it is just a stone that is connected to your heart chakra. So one of the things that are most likely very important on your path is love, loyalty, all of those feelings where you feel like you can count on someone. But let's move into your reading to figure out a little bit more about whether you're on the right path or not. First and foremost, we have the tiger's eye. So in the tiger's eye, one thing that I see here is that you can definitely increase your confidence, group number two. I feel as though you have to believe in yourself and allow the universe to work through you. It is so important for you to make sure that you're allowing your body to kind of be the vessel that gets used in order to create amazing things on this planet. And know that whenever you want something out of life, whenever you want a certain amount of money or a certain thing, you're going to have to put something out into the world in order to receive that. You know, life is always give and take, not only in friendships, not only in relationships. I mean, sometimes those can just be give, give, give. I mean, who has not been in that situation? But for real, life and the universe works with you putting a certain energy and a certain amount of effort out there and then being able to receive something of equal amounts. But let's move further into reading. We have the malachite, we have the amber, as well as the rhodochrosite. So group number two, one thing that I see here is the fact that you have prosperity coming to you on this path, okay? So this path may be not the most ideal path for you. We haven't completely figured that out just yet, okay? But one thing that I see here is the fact that there is a positive shift in prosperity as well as divine support coming for you. So I want you to look out for that, because sometimes when we have positive shifts on paths, we may think to ourselves that this is the right path and the only path, and we may forego looking into other ways how we can improve our lives, our careers, as well as our relationships. And I want you to know that in correlation to the emerald, you know, your relationships play a big role on the right path for you. So if right now you've been neglecting your relationships or just the people closest to you, know that that is not the path for you. Know that the path for you has a lot to do with just giving that time to those closest to you. That is one thing that I see in the amber. It is so important for you to just kind of heal yourself naturally through being around people who uplift you, where you really feel the love. So in the rhodochrosite, I see here that you've been through a lot and you need time to heal and recover. That is what the rhodochrosite stands for. So be gentle with yourself and allow others to play a part in your recovery. That is the right path for you. That is a path where you can thrive. That is a path that is the most ideal and where you can truly find yourself feeling whole and as though you're doing something that has meaning. Because when you're recharged, when you're full of love, you know that you can move forward in your career in this world, providing others with value. So we have the snake spirit, we have the cow spirit, we have the butterfly spirit, as well as the fox spirit. So we have a really interesting combination. Overall, more earthy energy. That is one thing that I must say with you, group number two. So very grounded energy that keeps you down to earth. So I see that your life's path has a lot to do with that. No matter how rich you grow, no matter how amazing your partner is, I see that you will always be down to earth. You will always be the kind of person that others can come to for a good chat. And one thing that I see here in the cow spirit is that what you get in return those miracles are endless, okay? I feel like the more you give, be it donating money, time, or, you know, old clothes and just things that you don't really need, the more you're able to give, the more you will see in return. So you may think to yourself, well, right now I'm not exactly in a situation of financial abundance, but don't let that stop you from doing even a little something, group number 2, because I think if you're watching this video, we can agree that most of us can, you know, say no to having that extra coffee or that extra meal somewhere, and instead donating $1, $5, $10 every month, every week to a good cause where we really know that we're doing something out of just wanting to be selfless and caring for other human beings who are not as fortunate as we are. So in the snake spirit, I really want you to take time to heal that part of yourself that is afraid of what will happen if you let go of a little bit of your money, if you let go of a little bit of the financial part of you. Because when you think logically, you know that it's not detrimental for you to spend $1 donating it, and you know that you'll feel so much better donating that extra $1 instead of spending it on like a venti drink instead of a regular size drink. Just an example, but it's still hard to bring yourself sometimes to that point of actually doing it. But in the butterfly spirit, I see that your right path has everything to do with transforming from more of a mindset of scarcity to a mindset where you feel as though, you know what, I'm going to spend this $1, but it's going to come back tenfold. I'm going to do something for another person, but the rewards that I'm going to reap from this are going to be greater than they could have been had I just looked out for myself. So your path has a lot to do with transformations, has a lot to do with you not avoiding things that you have been avoiding for a long time, okay? So if you've been avoiding kind of donating, kind of getting rid of things that you don't need, giving it to those in need, then know that the transformation from just procrastinating and then actually doing it is what your life path should be. So maybe you're in the process right now, group number 2, maybe you still need to engage in these things. Either way, I want you to know here that your life's path, it is unavoidable if you want to lead the happiest, most fulfilled life. It's unavoidable for you to do something for other people, as well as to just be even more charitable than you've maybe already been. But let's move further into your reading. We have commit to happiness, we have hidden blessings, as well as kindness. So group number 2, one thing that I see here is that the fact how you will know that you're on the right path is when you feel as though you've committed to happiness and you're now getting all of these blessings, okay? You can commit to happiness. Happiness is not something that just happens or that you can say to yourself, I will be happy once I have this person in my life or once my life looks like this. You will get to that point and you will still not be happy, okay? Because it's like a vicious cycle. If you can't be happy right now, you will most likely still not be happy when you think you would be happy, like I said, by attaining certain things or by being in certain relationships, certain circles. That is not going to bring you to fulfillment. But just committing to happiness right now, I see that that is the right path for you, group number 2. Furthermore, in kindness, one thing that I see is that your life's journey has a lot to do with giving to others, okay? So giving, there are many forms of it. It could be teaching in some way, shape, or form. It could be giving something into this world that is creative, that is very different from what people are used to, okay? Art is a form of giving. You're giving this world a lot of value. The same goes for music. The same goes for just moral support. Maybe you're some sort of therapist, psychologist, somebody who helps other people. But either way, group number 2, I want you to know that you are on the right path if you are providing value and helping other people in some way. And furthermore, you have to commit to happiness. Don't say to yourself, you'll be happy when so-and-so happens. Know that that is a recipe for unhappiness as well as a recipe for disaster. And we don't want that, we don't need that. But there's a reason why you tuned into this reading and why you picked the emerald. And it is all because you need to hear that being loyal, being a good person is going to come back with rewards that are tenfold bigger than what you put out there, all because the universe was able to see that you are willing to put out work, put out help up front in order to receive a lot later and not even be like guaranteed that you will receive something, but that just shows that you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. So group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that this gave you clarity about what your life's path looks like, and this will help you decide, you know, whether you're on the right path or not. So as I said, I hope this reading gave you clarity, motivated you. If you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Pyrite group number 3. So I want you to know that this awesome, beautiful, gorgeous stone is not only beautiful on the outside, but its meaning is even more helpful, I would say, to your life path. So the Pyrite is for anybody who needs protection against negativity, as well as those who want to promote good health, as well as just good well-being in general. So this is a stone that protects you against pollution, as well as, like I said, negative entities or people. But let's move straight into your reading to figure out exactly whether you are on your life's path and on the right path. First and foremost, we have the Charoite. So in the Charoite group number 3, one thing that I see here is that you're being watched over. So this is a feeling that you may have had recently, almost like you feel like there's somebody around you, there's some sort of energy with you. This may have to do with somebody who used to be in your life, who is maybe now no longer in the earthly planes, who is watching over you, some sort of energy that you feel radiating from that person, or it could just be overall your spirit guides, you know, your angels, the universe, whatever you believe in that shows you the right light. It could also be your intuition, but I don't want to narrow it down because this channel is all inclusive, and you're welcome to believe in whatever gives you strength, as well as draws you towards things that bring you positivity. Then we have the Kyanite. So group number 3 in the Kyanite, one thing that I see here is that your life's path, the right path for you, has a lot to do with self-care, okay? And you have to make more time for it. Group number 3, you're not making enough time for self-care. You know, those toenails that you've been wanting to sort out, that hair that you've been wanting to wash, those outfits that you've been needing to bring to the dry cleaners, your suits, etc. That is self-care. That is taking care of your appearance, how you feel in your body and your clothes. Those things are all very important, and they can have a big effect on your life in general, and I don't want you to underestimate that. I want you to know that you're on the right path when you're investing a sufficient amount of time in self-care. Then we have Azurite, as well as the clear quartz. So group number 3 in the clear quartz, one thing that I see here is that you have to love yourself with all your emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly, the even uglier, okay? I mean, I'm not an ugly crier, but there are situations where you just feel like you need to play the victim for 5 minutes, like you need to cry for 5 minutes and just let it all out. And I want you not to discriminate, okay? If you're currently feeling a lot of pressure to be perfect or to be kind of like the rock for everybody else, but you feel like you don't have anyone who is your rock, you know, you're kind of just drifting around in the ocean, I want you to know here that you have to allow yourself to love every feeling that you have. Even if you feel like it is needy, put it out there and tell others like, hey, I can't always be the rock. Sometimes I need a rock, okay? Sometimes I need somebody who is there for me. Sometimes I need a shoulder to cry on. As I can see here in the Azurite, that the right path for you entails a lot of deep emotional healing. And if that is something that you're going through, if you've been feeling very emotional, I want you to know that you are indeed on the right path, even though it can feel very wrong at times. But often when we say, oh, this feels wrong, this doesn't feel right, we're kind of afraid of the next plane that we're going to. We're afraid of the next level that we're leveling up to. And sometimes we can try and sabotage ourselves or hold ourselves back by saying, oh, you know, this doesn't feel right, this feels weird. But learn to distinguish between when you're growing and when you're just appreciating yourself and your situation, and when something is actually wrong. There are two very different scenarios, group number 3. Then we have the elephant spirit as well as the chameleon spirit. So one thing that I see right now is that on the right path for you, you're going to just have to act like you know what you're doing, okay? And in the elephant spirit, I want you to think of a situation where you openly admitted or openly showed that you actually didn't know what you were doing, and it came to bite you in the butt, okay? So group number 3, there may have been, say, a job interview, an interview for an apartment, a house, just somebody that you maybe met that you were interested in working with, and you were completely honest about your downfalls, about the things that you struggle with, not because you don't want to be truthful, but because maybe you also just wanted to give them a heads up. But truth of the matter is, in many situations in life, it is best to just put your best foot forward first until, you know, people are actually wanting for you to reveal your shortcomings. And the fact is that you're so humble, group number 3, that you're not the kind of person who is afraid to say when you're not good at something. You're not the type of person who is afraid to talk about failures from the past and how you have learned from them. But when it comes to, you know, business, your career, when it comes to these types of relationships where people want you to be like the best version, where people ideally want someone who can do no wrong, keep those parts to yourself, because other people are doing that as well. And because other people are doing that, you are unable to compete because you're the only person who is putting like the full naked truth out there that other people will not put out there. So don't be dishonest, but at the same time, you don't need to tell everybody your dirty laundry or tell everybody, you know, the things that you're still struggling with in a competitive plane where your competitors are going to keep that to themselves until they are forced to let it out. And that is just how some things work in your career. That is just how some things work when finances are involved. And I want you to win, group number 3. So I'm not going to tell you to just, you know, open up your entire soul to each and every person. That is a side of you that you keep for your friends, your family, the ones who really deserve it, romantic partners. But otherwise, you just have to act as if in this world, okay? That is the right path for you. Maybe you've been doing that all along, group number 3, and you're like, duh, that's what I've been doing my entire life. But let's move further into your reading. We have vibration, growth, we have intention, as well as unexpected. So one thing that I see for you, group number 3, is the fact that your right path, your life's path, has a lot to do with growth, okay? The right path for you has a lot of growth that can come with growing pains, and that is something that may be unexpected. You may have thought to yourself, well, if I'm growing, if I'm doing well, then why should there be any pain? You know, there's only happiness because things are just going well. Well, group number 3, that is not always the case, especially when you're confronting parts of yourselves that you don't want to confront. Like, you know, for instance, I've been confronting my procrastination when I'm scared about something. I've been confronting just the growing pains in my business, which feel free to check out down below for some inspiration. And that is just something that can leave you vibrating a little low when you know that you're procrastinating, but you don't really want to admit it. You don't really want to put it out there. And that is when I remind myself of my intention in this lifetime. And this is something that I want to give to you, group number 3. I want to give you this little piece of advice that when you're procrastinating, when you're drifting from the right path, and you will know when you're drifting from the path. That is one thing about you, group number 3. You're very intuitive and you will know when you're not on the right path. I want you to come back to what your intention is, okay? And intention correlates to the number 11, which is a master number. This is a number where you have to take the reins back into your control, okay? You have to take the leadership and remind yourself what your intention has been from the start. If there's a project that you're trying to escape from, that you're trying to procrastinate, tell yourself why you started in the first place. If there's something that is causing you a lot of distress, remind yourself of why you even got yourself into this situation to begin with. And that is when you will be able to remind yourself of who you are and just how far you've come. You know, in growth, when you feel like things are going really slowly, think of how far you've come. Think of the past 2, 3, 10 years and how much you have been able to accomplish and how much further along you have moved in life, and see how you will feel a lot more ease, okay? It's almost like a stone gets lifted from your chest, a weight gets lifted off of your chest, and you're able to say to yourself, you know what, actually I have accomplished a good chunk of things. I just shouldn't be so hard on myself. So group number 3, you are in fact on the right path as long as you're not distracting your growth, as long as you're not disrupting it and prohibiting it, because that is when you stray. That is when you take detours that just take way too long to get to the end goal. So I truly hope that this reading gave you clarity. I truly hope that this reading inspired and motivated you. Let me know down below if it did. Put a little heart emoji down there and I will make sure to reply to you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amber group number 4, and before I explain to you why you may have chosen this stone, make sure to leave a little bee emoji down in the comment section because I want to know who of you chose group number 4. So the Amber is actually a piece of fossilized tree resin, and this is a stone that promotes confidence as well as creativity. So this is a very, very interesting kind of piece of material. It is not in fact a mineral, but I want you to know that it still does an excellent job at absorbing pain as well as just motivating you to think outside of the box. And that may be exactly what your right path is all about. But let's move straight into your reading. First and foremost, we have the sodalite. So in the sodalite, one thing that I see here is that you are on the right path as long as you're socializing and joining in, okay? If you have become a hermit over the past few years, I am not trying to call you out, group number 4, but you guys always call me the queen of calling you out, so okay, I'm gonna wear the crown. Okay, if you have become a bit too antisocial for whatever reason, maybe you were burnt, maybe people just proved that nobody should be trusted, whatever it was that sparked that in you that wanted you to just be more reclusive, I want you to let go of that a little bit, okay? The right path for you has everything to do with you networking, you socializing, as well as establishing new connections. You're not meant to be a hermit for the rest of your life. We all go through different phases, and even though you may not like to be around a lot of people all the time, I completely get it. It is still healthy for you to sometimes get out there and flex your social muscles, group number 4. Then we have the charoite as well as the citrine. So we have a lot of purple in here, okay? So this is very mysterious energy, but I want you to know here in the citrine that one thing that is not mysterious about your path and the right path for you is the fact that you have to alleviate unnecessary worries. If you're right now kind of a worrywart, if you're somebody who constantly thinks of the worst case scenario, you are not on the right path. The right path for you is all about allowing life to be a mystery. That is also why we have a lot of purple within your reading, and knowing that you're protected. That is one thing that I see in the charoite. The fact that you know that you're being watched over and protected, and that there is no energy out there or entity of energy that is trying to harm you, trying to bring you any sort of bad luck, okay? That is what will catapult you forwards, because guess what's going to happen if you keep thinking to yourself, if you keep worrying and saying like, oh, what if this doesn't work? What if that doesn't work? What if? Well, guess what? The what ifs are going to be drawn closer and closer into your life because that is where your energy is focused, group number 4. So make sure that you're not worrying so much because that is not the right path for you. Then we have the angelite. So in the angelite, one thing that I see here is that the right path for you has a lot to do with linking up with other people who are like-minded, okay? So this could be a tarot community, for instance, if you want to talk more about tarot cards, if you want to talk more about spirituality, there are a billion forums for that where you can connect with other people. Another thing is, for instance, an online course on how to learn tarot reading. I have mine linked down below, but of course, you can engage in any sort of other courses, in any sort of other ways, how you can link up with like-minded people and be in a community where what you learn and the value you gain is just worth so much more than, for instance, the money or the time that you put in, because you learn not only a lot about yourself, but also about this world and other people, and it allows you to trust other people more. Because one thing that I do feel within your reading is that maybe you've been burnt, so now you're like, I'm just going to retreat into my shell. Maybe you're also a Cancer like me, and you're just the kind of person who likes to be by themselves sometimes and likes to protect themselves and their family. But just allowing yourself to be out there in a like-minded community will show you that the world is not all bad and there aren't just all crooks out there, even though, you know, there are quite a few, group number 4, but let's not get shady in this reading. So we have the frog spirit as well as the buffalo spirit. So one thing that I see here, group number 4, in the buffalo spirit is the fact that there is a lot of abundance, okay? The right path for you will come with a heap of abundance, but what you first need to do is declutter. I see that right now you're not on the right path if there is still that chair filled with clothes that's sitting next to you, okay? If there is still this little area of your house or your room that is just completely cluttered that you have been avoiding for months, maybe even years, and you're just kind of pretending like it doesn't exist. Group number 4, you guys call me the queen of calling you out for a reason, and that is why I'm here. So I want you to know that you will have more abundance, more clarity, more mental space as soon as you clear out the clutter. There's a reason why you tune into this reading, and the frog spirit showed up to encourage you to do that, because you're only on the right path when you're not concerned with little things that don't really matter. But guess what? If you don't have your bills paid, if you don't have your stuff sorted out, if you have a lot of messes around you, that will translate to a lot of messes within your head, because you're dealing with all of these little mental sticky notes. Oh, I still got to do this, I still got to do that. But when you clear the physical clutter and the things that you still need to do, mentally those sticky notes can be removed, right? Because you've already done it. So that frees up a lot of mental space for you, and that can also make you less anxious. Because if anxiety is something that you're really dealing with, and there are various levels of this, you know, some of them are kind of normal and some of them are really, really scary, okay? And you should be concerned about your mental health as well as your safety if you have those types of levels of anxiety. But know that this can really help and alleviate a lot more stress than you may have ever expected. So, and then we have learning, we have transform, we have intention, as well as meditation. Okay, so group number 4, one thing that I see here is that the right path has a lot to do with learning and transforming, okay? One thing that I see here is that you're on the right path if you're constantly learning and constantly transforming. If you are stagnant, that is not the path for you. One thing that I see here is that, you know, you have to socialize and join in for a reason. It is because the universe can see that you have value to offer in this world, and just keeping it to yourself is not the right thing right now. I want you to know that in order to recharge, you know, if you're really not a social person, if you're really an introvert and being around other people makes you tired, I can relate. Group number 4, engage in meditation. That can always get you grounded. That can always alleviate stress, as well as just feelings of anxiety and feelings of helplessness. You know, when you feel stressed to the bone, to the core, and almost like you can't function anymore, try and focus on making meditation kind of like your sweet spot, your safe haven, where you know you engage with your body and just calming yourself mentally, and that it will help you in all of these situations that stress you out. In intention, I want you to know that your right path, your life's path, the path that is ideal for you, is all about the intention. And I feel as though the intention has to do with transforming this world. Group number 4, you were put on this plane in order to achieve great things. And I want you to follow this path, okay? You are on the right path if you are following your dreams. If you're doing things to satisfy society, your family, somebody who is not you, you are not on the right path. You're meant to go down this path of learning about how you can accomplish your dreams, as well as having the intention and following through with the intention through action to actually making that change, to actually transforming your life as well as this world. And I know it may sound like a big burden, like a big thing, group number 4, and guess what? It is a big thing, group number 4. I'm not going to downplay it, but I want you to know that there are many people in the past, single people, who have made a huge impact and a huge difference in this world just by touching many people's lives, just by making sure that they put themselves out there in the situations where other people may have needed help, and that caused a domino effect. So not everybody who has a huge effect in this world is a celebrity or is well known or is noted in history books. There are nurses, teachers, doctors, lawyers who have had an amazing impact on hundreds, thousands, millions of lives even, and they are unknown, but what they never knew was the domino effect that they caused. But I want you to know, group number 4, that you are capable of causing this ripple effect or domino effect by doing one good deed every day for another human being completely selflessly, and making sure that you're in line with your intention and your life's goal. I see that your life's purpose is not selfish. Your life's purpose is something that can serve everybody if you're able to achieve it. So set that intention, learn how to get there, and make sure that you just go for the kill, group number 4, and let me know when you get there. I'm so excited, group number 4, to see what is going to come for you. Make sure that you comment down below what your life's purpose or intention is, what you want to do in order to change this world. I would love to know, and I truly hope that this reading inspired you to continue on this path and gave you motivation as well as clarity. So wherever you are in this world, group number 4, I wish you a fabulous day or night, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.